We're live.
Good evening. It is 8th of September, 2025, just after 6 p.m. And we're starting the Community Engagement Committee meeting for the Village at Golf Manor. May I get a roll of our committee members, please?
Ms. Mail,
That's me.
Chester,
Yes.
Dr. Fisher is absent. Ms. Thomas,
Here.
Mr. Thompson, absent. Are there motions to excuse?
I will make a motion to excuse Dr. Fisher. Are either of you?
Is there a second?
Seconded.
I second.
And so, without objection? Aye. Thank you, all unanimous. So unless one of you two want to make a motion to excuse Keegan, I will not be. I think this is his third one now. So.
I believe according to the rules of council, that is enough to remove him from his position, but I'm not certain whether we would have to actively remove him or whether he is, it all happens automatically. I don't know that question, the answer to that question. I can ask.
Yeah, we'll figure that out, because I don't even think we have anybody replacing yet either, really.
Right.
Okay.
You send him an official letter, or you just let him drop off?
No, he would, of course, you'd have to inform him, but the question is it automatic or do you have to actually remove him in
Like
order
make
for
a,
him to lose
make
his
a
seat?
motion.
Because technically you could excuse it every single time.
Right.
I don't know.
And so I guess the question, if it's not automatic, next meeting, we would still have to worry about quorum for 5 people, not 4.
Correct.
Okay, so it can potentially impact us, but we're usually here, 3 or 4 of us are, so I'm not too worried about
So
that.
we're only four here.
The 3 of us make quorum even with 5 people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
so, okay, nobody registered to speak here,
Is
but
there a
actually,
motion to adopt the agenda?
sorry, you're right. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion to adopt the agenda.
So we'll have Ms. Nguyen as a first and Ms. Phillips as a second. Okay, sorry, I skipped over that item. Person registered to speak. We do not have one today, but we might have somebody, for the next meeting, or at least the following. I think next meeting might be a big meeting too, regarding the app stuff, excuse me, the website stuff. So, have you had an opportunity to review the meeting minutes from our last meeting? Okay, so can I get a motion to approve those previous meeting minutes? Ms. Phillips first, what about you, Ms. Nguyen? Can I get a second?
Second.
All right, this is going to be a very quick meeting.
Right.
Right. So we can start off with the reports for, let me see, we'll do the Little Free Pantries and the We Thrive report. So I guess maybe do We Thrive first, Ms. Nguyen?
Yes, I can. Okay. We finished the, what class do we have?
Pain management.
Chronic pain. We finished the chronic pain class, and I think 8 people, am I getting it right? 8 people finished. So we'll get $50 per person for that. And the next class we have coming up is the cooking class, and that'll start in October. I don't have to write, October the 7th. And it'll be a 2-hour class from 5:30 to 7:30. What do we have after that? We have another class after that, but I don't have the time and date for that.
The Council on Aging, Diabetes one?
Yes,
Yeah, but I don't have, that's gonna be the next class, but I don't have the information right now.
Okay, so.
I mean, I have it, but I don't have it.
Yeah, we talking, so are you not able to pull up this up here? It's in the
November
agenda.
6th.
It's to the November 6th, December 18th?
That's it,
Okay, so on Thursdays from 5:30 to 8.
right.
So the classes are free.
And does this also have, it qualifies for the $50 per
Yes, that
per
does.
participant?
Not
But
the OSU one.
Not
but
the
council
cooking
on
class,
Aging one
but
does.
the, diabetes class.
Okay.
Oh, so now I'm moving on to the little pantry.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. As previously reported, council has approved the legislation for the little free pantries. That was back in May. Well, we're gonna skip all this part, but anyway,
I'm just trying to keep people.
we have-
updated.
okay, we have received the material. I don't know when she received the material. But today I went and we cut out the pieces for the 2 pantries. And what else do we do? I think the next time we're gonna be painting, but we did cut out the 2 pieces for
Nice.
I'm gonna say 2 pieces. We cut out both
All the
pantries,
pieces for
all the
two
pieces
pantry
for both the
boxes. Yeah,
pantries.
yeah.
So we did get that done.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
So that's my fault today. I should have been there to help or
No.
at least supervise.
I was keeping her company because I told her, she said, you wanna try this? I said, no, I don't wanna screw up
I
nothing.
said, I don't cut, but I can measure twice.
Well, yeah, she done that. That was pretty good. So we got all of that, all the pieces cut out and everything.
Nice,
So
nice, nice.
the next thing we're gonna do is paint.
Okay.
She's-
And
We're gonna be, that's
when?
Thursday. It's gonna be
Okay, 'cause I
Thursday.
can't do Tuesday.
It's painting for assembly? Just painting for assembly?
That's what she said. I'm going by that.
Whatever.
Expert.
Yeah.
So we're gonna paint, and then we're gonna do something to glue it together, whatever she said. I tell her, I'm with you, whatever you're gonna do. So that's what was going on with the pantry today.
Okay, sounds good, thank you. And.
Oh, wait a minute, one more thing.
Yeah,
We still have to, I talked to the mayor yesterday.
okay. I was gonna ask
And
about maintenance.
The one pantry that's gonna be up by the hairdresser, well, we know that spot.
Uh-huh.
But he was gonna see if maintenance couldn't cut us a spot out here
Okay.
across the street. Where is it, by the fire hydrant?
Yeah, behind the fire hydrant. Now, my
And the
conversation
asphalt-
that happened last night, I've not spoken to the administration about this.
I didn't hear nothing you just said.
He said-
This is a conversation that happened last night. I have not talked to the administration about it yet. But
Okay.
yes, that indeed, there's, I think the issue is that there's a recommendation that you told me that it should be in the shade, which makes
Well, that's what they
sense.
said, it should be in the shade.
Yeah, we don't really have shade outside the park or like easily accessible. Like you have to go pretty deep into the park right now to get some shade. So one of the ideas was, what if if it's not gonna be in the shade, direct shade, what if we put it right on the outside of the park?
Right,
Making it, optimal access.
right,
We need to cut some concrete or asphalt in order to do that.
right,
So we need to talk to the administration, the maintenance department about that.
okay.
But first off, I want to make sure that everyone's agreeable on the location, right? We don't want to.
We've already
already decided that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, isn't it shade down by the driveway in? So it's shady down there.
Then,
I don't know, I just think it's shady down there, but I don't know,
Well, I guess I have to check it out, but anyway, we have another meeting, for We Thrive, when is it? Wednesday at 2:00, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Why,
so-
did I include that in there?
I guess by the
Yeah.
time we get finished with the little pantries, we need to figure out where it's gonna be, so Eric said he would ask the, maintenance department if they would dig the hole. So if it's shade down here where you're talking about, we won't have to
That's
dig into the
ideal, yeah.
asphalt, so I'll check that out when I leave.
Okay.
And then we'll just have it there,
We can walk over there.
we can walk over there and we'll just do that.
Okay,
That'll be a lot better.
all right, that sounds good.
So that's my report.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, you wanna give us, you were at the fall concert yesterday. I didn't leave any comments, cause
Oh, send it
I
out,
wrote
send it
this
out.
before the concert happened, so I didn't know what to say about it.
Well, I think the fall concert was successful. I think, people were very positive, coming in and pulling. I think it was set up structurally great. Food was in a good place, the drinks were in a good place. I think the games were in a good place. I think that when you structurally see everything set up, you can always potentially set it up a different way. I love that the fire department was there and the police department was there. It was really cool. And everybody was kind and, educating everybody about what was going on.
I got all the medallions.
Oh, you did? I have one too, they're very nice.
Those are fun.
Yeah, and I got a chance to talk to the police officers I hadn't met before, which was really nice. And I got the chance to talk to some of the firemen, fire women,
Yeah.
which was very nice too. So I think overall it was very successful. I think that the village needs to invest in tents. Just trying to put those tents up, not that they were difficult, but if I were there and you just have to push up in the middle, boom, 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 I could have just set them all up. So I think that instead of borrowing them from somebody who lives in the village, we need to really invest in and buy our own. So we can be looking for those at a reasonable cost because, places like Home Buys, they get all beautiful, wonderful stuff in all the time. I think the people that came with the food, I think that was successful. I think they, they brought something, they were trying to,
Tiny bistro.
Yeah, they're good.
yeah, I think, because they were giving you free food. So I'm paying money out.
He gave me like 10 hot dogs or something at the end of, like, everything that was on there. They was like, here, just take them. And they almost ran out of food. Like, right
Don't get
before
jealous, I'm their people.
Yeah,
I see. I said, so I harass him every time, like, where are the vegetarian dogs? And he was like, I got you this time. Yeah, he said, I got you some this time, your turkey. I was like, okay, dude, that's not what you want. It's not like they're vegetarian. I said, but in good faith, I will buy them for somebody else, and then maybe next time we'll get around. So, and I think all the educational resources, they were really good. I think they were all eager to give out information and talk to people that were in the village, and I think that went really well too. But Mayor, I don't know if you want to add something to it.
We just have really great support from the people that did volunteer, the boots on the ground that showed up. That was huge. I think Melody, I was trying to say Councilwoman, or Melody. Want to thank Gwen. Want to thank Pat, and you, Phyllis. And we had volunteers, some high school volunteers that were getting community service credits. They came out and were very helpful.
Okay.
And very professional about their help too, which was really awesome. We had the police officers that were there were very helpful.
Yeah.
Particularly, I was sharing with Gwen, I'm making a list of all the stuff that had to be put in place so that in the future, I'm aware at the very least of what needs to be done much earlier, right? Because there was a lot of stuff that we were doing at the last minute, which was just a matter of ignorance, right? And so hopefully that gets documented well. We don't get into that kind of situation again. That'll be better. But the police department was very helpful with stuff that at the last minute I was like, bathrooms are locked. What are we gonna do? Right?
Yeah, so I said, the bathrooms will be open. It's an event there.
Right. Trash isn't picked up, right? The trash cans are all overflowing, right? And it's like right before the event. So where are the trash bags? Kind of thing. So they were helpful with all that kind of stuff. Just everyone that showed up was really, really helpful. Cincinnati Circus, I don't do this formally in my mayor's report when we have full council, but Cincinnati Circus provided all those blow up stuff. That was fantastic for the kids. The kids were having a really good time. We brought some soccer balls to put out there as well, footballs and everything for people to play with. That was a big hit for the kids as well. The band is always popular, right? Tiny Bistro, huge. All the vendors, I can't, Ms. Mail can list off who all the merchant vendors were. I talked to them. I got several of them said they did really well. Several of them, I didn't talk to them afterwards. I talked to them before the crowds came for the band, and I said, "How you doing?" And they're like, "Eh." And I was like, "The band is coming, and we moved you up here so you'd be close to the band to hopefully help, with your business and everything." So I'm hopeful that they did better once more people came in.
Yeah, I think logistically it was great they were set there because I was worried about it at first thinking it should have been on this line, but then people had to go past them.
Yeah.
Which, made them look at, their
Right.
stuff, so I think that worked out well.
The folks that came, Melody helped get, or got the, NAMI in Southwest Ohio, which was huge. There was a couple of the ones that I got that at the last minute, like literally on Saturday, contacted me and said, can't do it, but I've got swag for you to hand out. It's like, all right, yeah, thanks. Which was good still, right?
Yeah.
We had people that were willing to do that, which was great. I want to thank Pat specifically as far as community engagement goes. I gotta get with her to find out how many more names we have on our list, but I'm thinking we got like at least 100 more numbers to our 500.
She did a really good job, yeah.
Yeah, she did a great job. The volunteers helped out. They were able to give her a break with that. My wife was able to help out. I helped out with that as well. So we had some good coverage, but by far Pat spent most of the hours
She did, yeah.
in that seat.
She did.
And that was.
And I do love the volunteers when you said the volunteer, if you need anything to drink, I think that's key because people can't leave their booths to go get
Right.
something to eat and come back. So I like that, you had the, volunteers that could come around and get anything free, pick you up some food or, covered space if they need to go to the bathroom. So I think that was a good addition.
The ribbon cutting ceremony, I was very happy with the turnout. We got some pictures of how many people were there. I mean, you can count at least 30 people, and that's just like from an angled shot, right?
I missed that.
Yeah, I totally missed that.
I missed it too.
Have a microphone. We're gonna do the ribbon cutting.
Yeah, I was running around. I was thinking about getting a microphone for that, but
I had
it's
no idea
it's a
what it
mixed
was.
bag sometimes with the microphone. You have to be in a certain place, and I wanted to be over there where the entranceway was and everything, and so, but I think it went well. I mean, we had a large, I guess I got good pictures. I'm gonna give them to Glenn, and then we can, and I've given them to the administration already. And, let's encourage people who have photos to submit them. I would like in future.
Who you want me to send them to? Because I took pretty many.
You can probably maybe send them to me, or if you wanna, we'll figure that out. We should have a good place to keep photos,
Okay.
like community engagement, because I'm thinking as we develop the website, and if we're gonna have a page for ongoing events that we do every year, it's nice to have some photos. I was thinking when we, the QR code for the landing page where we were talking about this event,
Okay.
didn't have any photos on it. And that would be great if there's photos of previous events and, what that looks like. That helps give people that might be a little bit tentative of coming, have a sense of what it's gonna be like. And help them.
Okay.
Yeah, two things I just want to add. I think it was well advertised, because I've seen signs everywhere, but I was a little surprised that nobody from the Recreation Committee showed up. And so I think that we have to be in sync with one another. So if, there's something to make up something, if we want to do an Indigenous Day in November, then that should be, we should coincide and work together with the Recreation Committee so they don't feel like they're left out. I didn't feel like I was left out because I think Nell and them did a really good job on the flyers. So, you kind of know what's coming up and what's on the postcards, so you kind of know. So I didn't feel like I was left out, but, people are in different places.
Right.
And, I am not the lead of that group, and I understand, some people just felt like they were informed and, so I'm hoping that we'll have a recreation committee when we meet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've heard those concerns. I sent out an email to all the members of Community Engagement Recreation Commission, asking that they take this interpret this as a genuine attempt to improve the communication going on, sharing the openness for feedback on that to make this better. And I've already had some feedback on that, both positive and negative. We need to make the communication process better. The update for what all was going on, like what all was in motion, was given just like right before the community engagement meeting last month, right? So it's like, was that 3 weeks before or 2 weeks before, right? So that's not acceptable. That's going to be a lot better. Like we got to have a way, and Melody was really helpful in helping me put together the email list so that at least it's, I have a mechanism at the very least to be saying, hey, everyone, this is what I'm aware of, what's going on. Getting that out to people.
I think getting it out to the team and getting them involved and, in the planning process, then they won't feel left out and then they'll, be more eager to participate in what's going on. So, hopefully in 2026, because I think there are other things going on now this year. Is there gonna be Christmas? I mean, what's gonna be there? Is there anything else this year?
Right.
Should we
So-
go to the recreation
Yeah,
committee?
so we were talking about, should Recreation Commission, should they reschedule given that they didn't have a meeting in September? And I'm thinking absolutely. I talked with the attorney. We don't have a chair of it right now, right? So the question was who can schedule that meeting? And what I was told is,
Okay, so we're starting to get a little off topic now.
Okay.
All right.
So, anything else about the fall concert specifically?
Yeah, not my fault, sorry.
No?
Laid you down the red, no. No, I think overall, just, communication in the future where we can all be on the same page with, rec.
Okay, yeah, because I think the bulk of this, it might be quick, it might not be. It's about the redevelopment and redesign of the website, so I'm gonna make sure we dedicate
Right.
some time to that. So Dr. Bennett was gonna present this, but she's not here, so she asked me to just go ahead and do it. So the communications mini committee, we met for the third time. That was on Tuesday, September 2nd. And during that meeting, we completed a draft of our request for proposals to solicit website development vendors. I've since cleaned that up and shared it with them, and I shared it. She's mostly seen it all. Have you had the opportunity to look at it?
No.
Okay, so I'll share that here. And so with the approval today, we'll go ahead and publish it as soon as tomorrow. Eric can do that as acting administrator. We put the deadline for potential vendors to submit their proposals by Friday, October 17th. But we'll share them as they come out, because our next community engagement committee meeting is Monday, October 20th. And I've invited the mini committee to that as well, so they can get some input, give some input too. And so on that October 20th meeting, I would like us to have picked a vendor, ideally. And so that 3 days won't be a lot of time to review, depending on how many. So as they come in, hopefully they won't all come in on the 17th, but that is the current plan now. So let's go ahead and look at, so what I've sent out already has been modified slightly based on feedback that I got from our IT consultant, Brett Palmer. I don't intend to read all of this, but the first section just talks about Golf Manor and our demographics and our village's intent to basically improve communication. But what we got here is a list of requested deliverables and services. So these are like the basic things that we're asking for. Is a nice design, we need it to operate and be accessible, security and privacy, whatever some of that standard is, responsive design and browser agnostic interface. That means this essentially eliminates the need for the app. What this does is no matter what browser I'm on, no matter if I'm on a mobile device, like a phone or a tablet, or if I'm on a big desktop computer, everything we look at changes, like the sizes, the button placement, all of that. And that's pretty standard now, but we want to explicitly request that. So you don't have to like come up with a second version because you're on a smaller device. It should all like basically auto scale. Search engine optimization, performance with limited bandwidth. Like there's a term for that, I think, but in English words, that's what it is. You can't assume everybody has high-speed internet. So we need our pages to load even for people who don't have high-speed internet. So explicitly asking for analytics, that's useful. And what I added now that wasn't in the previous one, this was feedback from Brett Palmer again. We want make sure they do a bunch of testing along the way. Apparently it's easier to fix things when they break during the development process opposed to going all the way at the end and trying to fix it. And so there will be some user testing in there that I would like Golf Manor to be involved in some capacity. I don't know really what that looks like. Hopefully they have an idea, but I do want to incorporate that, like, partway through there and let us look at it and tinker with it to see if the flow at least makes sense. And then content migration, like going from the current website to the new site, and then also different levels of access for, it's going to primarily be the administrator so they can make updates. But then some of the things that we kind of, like these nice to have features are just kind of how we like some of the pages lay out. Like we want to prioritize news and announcements, or we want to have a calendar out there, or this add to home screen button. We gave them a kind of what inspired that, but like maybe a page for it's like current residents or new residents so they can learn about RETA or our energy aggregate programs. Or even potential residents. It might be just like an about us type section. Like if anybody wants to move to Golf Manor, what is it that we want to know about Golf Manor? So that's like at least 3 different separate pages. And that's just me summarizing most of this stuff. Talking about how to make announcements here. Now this is, I guess, what Ms. Pat was collecting, like information, email addresses would be useful for something like this. Like you want to be able to have multi-channel alerts, but also on the type of alerts that you want. Like if it's an emergency, I might want a text message. But if it's like a monthly meeting, just send an email. And Yeah, let me see. Oh, and a way, this is the big one too, to integrate our live stream and recorded meetings on our YouTube channel. Like, we might actually get more viewers if, when there's a meeting, they go on a website as opposed to going on YouTube. Being like the calendar, how it all is just integrated. I make one click, it takes me to the agenda, it takes me to whatever, and let me go see the video live. Maybe, like, we'll see what they come up with. And then just some accessibility and inclusion considerations. Most of this is standard, but like interesting ideas, like use plain language. Most of the people who are reading, I mean, it's true anyway, but not even just for Golf Manor, but like simple language for maybe a 6th to 8th grade level, something like that. We want photographs and illustrations that reflect the demographics of the village. But I guess most importantly, what we asked them to include in their proposal, so we do say like 50,000 is kind of what we're hoping for, and to go live by May 26, 2026. So we've asked them to give us either like a bronze, silver, gold type package, like tell us what we can get at different prices and what's included, like check these boxes when you get gold, or which ones do we add to get silver, which ones do you add, or like check to get bronze and add to get silver and add to get gold. Or just what would you recommend? You go on our website, tell us what you actually think we need, or 3, just say, hey, with $50,000 in this May timeline, this is what you can get. So it's like, just answer one of those 3, or all, whatever. But, you know, gotta identify which features you'll provide, but include that plan to how you plan to get feedback from Golf Manor doing your user testing, and of course the cost and the timeline. But not just for development, but even costs for ongoing operations, maintenance, troubleshooting. Give us an idea of what this project's going to look like in the future.
But beyond 50,000.
Yeah, but it could be a couple hundred a year, depending. Like, well, that's what we don't really know.
That's important to know.
Right. And so personnel, just tell us who we're going to be working with, and give us some background on their experiences, and even ongoing, like if you guys are not the ones who do the troubleshooting after, or the ongoing operations and maintenance, like let us know who that third party is. And finally, we requested 3 references. One has to be from a municipal website. And also, like, send us some links to websites that you've done in municipalities or residential communities that are similar in size to our village. We asked them to let us know what they want from us. Like if we're doing user testing, for example, what do we have to know how to do? What type of technology requirements or training do we need? Because we are trying to be partners in this process. And again, have the proposal submitted by Friday. Should I put a time? I didn't think about that, but COB 11:59, whatever, because we're not, whatever. So I'll include the time when you think about that, probably just 5 p.m. ET. And finally, evaluation criteria, the features that they'll be providing us, that test plan that incorporates us, of course, the budget and the schedule. So submit that strategy, not just for the development, but also for the ongoing operations, maintenance, and troubleshooting. And we're going to evaluate them. I like this. We're going to evaluate them on a shared understanding of our project vision, i.e. vibes. So that's why we ended it like that. Dr. Bennett agreed to be the point of contact, but hopefully they'll just CC me and or Eric if they ever have questions for us. So anything you guys would add to this or change? And I sent it out.
I think that's pretty thorough.
Yeah.
And that's really, that's.
Like, I'm hoping we didn't like ask for too much or like.
I wish we would have done an RFP like this for the parks, you know, like when we were doing that whole
That was
process.
lesson learned.
Well, but that's what makes an RFP like this so successful.
Yeah. And because we even got feedback. So part of it was, so one of the people on our committee is a content person.
Right.
Like she writes when it comes to some of this website stuff. Like, so I took a lot of what Brett gave us and just threw it in Claude and spit out whatever Claude gave us, and I shared it with everybody else, and I assumed they were gonna do the same. But no, she being a writer, she got inspo from Claude, and she wrote, well, she and her husband, they wrote, so whatever they gave us, that's basically what we reviewed as the draft. So, and then the other guy, he had already had his probably from AI as well, like ChatGPT. And so as he's reading, as we're going aloud, it's like, is there anything that's in yours that they haven't talked about? So three of us, yeah. So that's what we spent the hour doing. And so I just took, and he's like making changes to what they wrote together, the content family. And then I just do it in this template, I guess, and just kind of restructured it or whatever. I haven't gotten feedback from them yet. I guess they would have looked at it, but I don't guess they have anything to say about it. So,
The tweaking period to get the bugs out, the tweaking period, and like, oh,
that's all part, yeah, that they need to tell us that. So that's part of like, give us that strategic plan. What does this
What's
timeline
included
look like? Where do we start? Yeah, all of that needs to be, yep. So, but was that actually mentioned, or does that, like, I get what you're.
Yeah, of course it was. That was the
That's
testing period.
strategic, okay,
That
yeah,
was what you put up
Okay,
here towards the top. There was
Right.
that, like, you didn't call it a beta period, but it was on the first page, I believe.
like a required,
That was
development and
the-
user testing.
Yeah,
throughout the
that's
whole
that's
process.
basically when you figure out
Okay.
bugs, is
Yeah.
when it's in that phase.
Right. And then also, as I said, to submit a comprehensive strategy. So that's also like a test plan plus the strategy for both the website development. So hopefully they'll send us, something back and we'll just compare and see. I'm sure there's a standard.
It's great.
So,
It's really solid.
good. That's good to hear.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Excellent job.
Mhm.
Thank you to all the people that were involved in that. I can't think of anything that's not considered in there.
Yeah.
There was legislation that was just passed at the state level, I believe within the past month. This goes to your timeline as far as wanting this to be, having your test period completed by the 1st of 2026. The legislation is that counties and cities need to have a cybersecurity policy protocols published by the 1st of 2026. Villages get until July, but what I'm thinking is it would probably be very smart to coordinate with the commissioners, the county commissioners, because whatever the county does, I don't know that we necessarily got to follow what Cincinnati says, but that might be a good standard to follow. But certainly at the county, I'm thinking to follow what they're saying, and I believe that's why they had like the smaller municipalities have a later date than the larger ones. But we're not going to see that official policy from them until the beginning of 2026. Though they certainly are working on it, and they may well know what it is before then. We would certainly want to know what that is, so we're not having to do a second round of adjustments to our website, right?
Yeah, I guess when we go through that, like when we come to the standard security and privacy, we just have to keep that in mind and make sure that box gets checked and whatever is compliant. I mean, I can probably even say in compliance with, ARY 2026. You said state.
Yeah, it's state mandated that counties and cities have a policy that, on cybersecurity. And I believe they have like certain things that they're requiring you to meet. Just about like how secure your website is. With a lot of this, I'm sure we're already doing, but it needs to be verified.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I just put in there in compliance with the January 2026, like I'll think about how to word it, but that's a note to myself that this just says that we gotta make sure we meet these standard, which will now be, for all we know, we already meet this, I don't know what it is.
I believe we are compliant. I mean, I know we are compliant as of now, but it's an ongoing conversation with Brett as well. Because he knows everything that we have. So.
Okay. Yeah, he was super helpful, and I kind of asked him, I was like, do you do website development? He said, yeah, and at one point he's like, or if you just need that kind of liaison between us not being the experts
Right.
with the developer that we choose and him being an expert, he'll be willing to help us
Right.
with all of that too.
So a lot of times with Brett as well, and Brett's awesome, and he gives us a lot of services for free, so to speak. But I try and be very sensitive to his time, and
Right.
he does tend to commit to things that we ask him to do, even if it's not in his contract.
Okay,
So if it is something that is additional time or additional resources necessary,
Yeah.
Because he is a limited person and does not have a huge staff, I find that it's much better to just clarify ahead of time, like, what are the expectations,
okay,
so that he's not, because he'll say yes,
okay,
and then either the thing that he says yes for may end up not getting done, or something else just,
Right,
is delayed
right,
or fall, and it's just.
Right.
Again, he's working with us, and he's an amazing person, but we just have to be sensitive to his time, is all I'm
I
saying.
understand. That's all right. Or we could just pay the man to do it.
Correct. Which, again, that's.
Right. Okay, so I guess if we are happy with this, can we just make a motion to, how did I have it worded? To approve and have Eric publish the RFP? You got a second?
Second.
All right, and I guess I'll be aye. And so when I send this
So,
latest version to you, I'll send you the list of a handful of vendors that we got.
yeah, so I think it's, if anyone knows of specific website developers that they can think of that they think this would be appropriate to send to, please send them to me as soon as possible so that we can get this out to them and give them enough time, because, well, you don't have it up, but I know the time is ticking.
It's about 6 weeks.
But again, if we give it to them in 3 weeks,
That's
then
half the
it's a
time.
3 week,
Yeah.
3 week head start for everybody else.
Right,
I know definitely of 2 specific vendors who are, who do municipal websites. Obviously, there's the big dogs that, that you see in some of these other, in some of these other municipalities. We can approach them too and just get an idea of like, what is the, so to speak, the Cadillac,
Yeah.
right? What do they charge? And then, we can look at some of these smaller vendors and really pick and choose.
right.
See, are we getting bang for our buck with the bigger, with the bigger firms, or can we get much more done with a smaller firm?
Right. And remind me, I'll try to, maybe as soon as this meeting's over, just go on the Facebook group and just kind of ask. Because for all we know, there might be like an equivalent to like a LinkedIn or Indeed dedicated solely to
Right.
like developers. Like, what is that website? Where can we drop this?
Right, exactly.
But the list we got might already be 6 people.
Again, we just want to make sure that it's open
Because
to
the
the
greatest
public,
net, yeah. Yeah.
and we will probably get applications that are not really relevant.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That's
But I
always
mean,
a
like
possibility.
and to be clear, like the links are to like eGov link or to
Right,
some
so
of
those are the,
yeah.
so those are some of the bigger ones.
Right. So. Alrighty then, so we got our motion to approve, so I'll send this to you today or tomorrow for you to just do it tomorrow. And I don't remember what we left off with the postcards. Do we want to do another postcard?
I think she said we did,
Okay. She is in,
Dr. Minna.
okay.
I think we said yes.
Okay, all right, so I guess we'll, and that's some more work for me, we should probably talk to finance about ARPA again.
If that's what you want to do, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, the recreation fund does not have a whole lot of money right now.
no,
It's like $1,600 or $1,800,
yeah,
something like that.
okay,
I haven't checked it today.
okay. And, because basically finance wrote us, they gave us like a $2,000 blank check from ARPA, and as far as I know we spent $1,100 on the first set of postcards. And I can talk to you about how much we pulled out for June. Did we pull it out for June? I know I requested maybe 300, but you might have just pulled out the rec as opposed to, but we can go look, because that might explain why. Because like it was only 157, I remember that. That would have been like for plates and cups and stuff like that. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I'm assuming it was 4th of July. Because 4th of July typically comes from the recreation. That's where it's come from historically.
Oh, I didn't know Danny paid for requesting anything.
The food vendor, being the food, all of the hot dogs.
Oh.
I think that was about $750.
It was how much?
$750.
That's where all the money,
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, that's been every year it's come out of there. If we want to take it out of a different line item, or if we want to
That's
dedicate
where
to
I
it,
had
like, that can
no
be-
idea that's where.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so any new business then?
No, I think if we don't have a lot for the postcards this year, we should just move it to 2026.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I don't have, because, I mean, that's also something else that I don't have to do if we don't do
And
postcards, like.
there's not a lot of one, but the money rolls over, right?
Yeah, of course. No, so that's the
Yeah.
beauty about these funds,
Yeah,
is that whatever money is in there on December 31st is there on January 1st. Whereas if it's in the general fund, it's only what is appropriated, and then if it's not spent, it's lost officially. Right? Meaning it could just get subsumed into the general fund and then it can be reappropriated, but it's not an automatic carryover.
Yeah, I think next year we have a better idea of how many things we can put on the postcard.
Mhm.
The more things we can put on there with the QR code is better than trying to do two things at the end of the year and spend our money.
So the spring, summer postcard that went out, I would say the purpose of that one was to promote rec broadly, like say, hey, your recreation commission has been reestablished, these are some events coming up, but then we put other stuff on there like the summer schedule, whatever. And so, this is also, a suggestion from the mini committee. So the next postcard would be more like a check-in, quote unquote, like that would be the purpose of it. So we have a QR code that says, confirm that you received this postcard, because there's a lot of people apparently who did, a lot of families didn't get it, we had no way of tracking who did and did not. But say, let us know if you received it, but also if you know of a neighbor who did not receive it, and give your information, but also like, what are your email addresses and, your phone numbers, and we can start building that database too. That's another way to start collecting that. So that was the primary reason for that. So once the new website comes up and we got all that information, we'll hopefully have less need for a postcard going. So, but people like that postcard too. Like they just like kind of having something, getting something in the mail, putting it on the refrigerator.
So do you want to say that as like a motion to table to 2026?
I would, there's a motion to move it to 2026 because I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot on that.
Do you have a specific time in 26 that you're thinking?
I think maybe March, because we don't start anything until Juneteenth, right? Is that the first
And
thing?
that's assuming that somebody gonna be, I don't know if I'm doing it. So there may or may not even be an event, but.
Okay, so that would be a motion to table to March 2026, but that doesn't mean planning should wait until 26. That just
No,
means
no,
that
that
it
should
should
start
go
now.
out until
It's just starting
26,
now, yeah.
obviously, right? Okay, so happy to take a second, to record a second if there is.
Second.
Okay. Well, I actually don't think we should have to, I mean, they can outvote me, but I don't think.
No,
we
that's
should
fine,
have
I'm
to,
just saying,
yeah.
just so for the minutes, so that it's like clear that that was
Okay,
the
yeah, yeah,
intention, that's all.
Like, I don't think the postcard should have to be just to promote events. We can do it, have another purpose, but if that's.
And
The
if
I
other,
really
another
wanna have
possibility is the meeting schedule is published in basically, I'll start putting together what will be the 26th schedule, depending everyone's approval. It's gonna be in the December meeting.
Yeah. So I mean, we could promote stuff that happen, like the ribbon cutting, we
Right.
could promote the little free pantries.
Right,
If we actually get enough traction and are comfortable promoting this website, that could be on there, like this is what's coming. So I mean, it doesn't have to just be events, you could say what we've done for the year, and then also a check-in, like, so there's multiple things we can put on
Yeah,
there.
I agree with that. If, you're giving an informational, postcard, depending on if there's finances available.
right.
Right.
Well,
That
I
would
think
be
that's
fair. I mean,
always the
that's
question, is
fair.
how
That's
ARPA
always
will
Yeah,
eventually
this only
dry up.
$1,800 in there may not be enough money.
Well, we're talking about using the ARPA money. The question is though, sustainability for the future for that is, if you want to do like a once a year, that's a much more sustainable model.
Right.
At the same time, if you do something in February or in January where you already have an idea of what those schedules are going to be,
Mhm.
you can put out the entire council schedule and the potential events. It's just, the question is that too early? Like what you said, doing it in March makes a lot of sense because it's like, oh, it's kind of on people's minds, throw it on the fridge, whatever. But either way, I mean, I can leave it as just table to 26 and we can leave it as pending for the next meeting for the
Yeah,
agenda.
how
That's
about the
fine,
next
let's do
meeting?
that, okay. Yeah, let's do that. So the next meeting, I know we'll definitely, hopefully have a vendor picked out, and then we'll also talk about whether or not to fund the post, like asking finance to fund the postcards.
Yeah, you have other ideas of what you want to go on
I might even start working on it, whether it gets funding or not sometimes. Sometimes I want stuff to do, but I don't always feel committed.
there.
Okay, so
I don't think
anything
so.
else before it's like a creative outlet. So
Okay.
do we, anything discussed before I call the next?
Mhm.
Okay, so the next meeting, is Monday, October 20th at 6 PM. Can I get a first to adjourn the meeting? All
I
right,
second.
all right, and aye, without objection, all unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me walk down the street.